Now, I think people's outrage is all over the place when it comes to Mandy Rose getting cut. People are trying to blame Triple H. People are saying, oh, it's because of Mandy Rose is a Shawn Michaels girl and she's not a Triple H girl. Like, I'm seeing all these dumbass opinions. It's like, you don't know what you are talking about. You are just living in a fucking moment. People are trying to say, oh, they have been exploiting Mandy Rose looks for years, and this is what they do to her. Like, you're trying to make that company feel like they're hypocrites, right? You're trying to compare her to Matt Riddle, to Jay and Jimmy Uso. What about them? What about her? What about him? It's like, that's all people do. Like, we have to cut out the what about isms. It's like, it's a huge cop-out. That's all you have for your fucking argument? The what about isms. It's like, y'all some rats, man. Y'all some fucking snitches, bro. What about him? What about her? It's like, look, man, totally different situations. By your logic, right? You're saying, why didn't they fire Matt Riddle for doing coke? Okay, so by your logic, why didn't they fire Shawn Michaels for doing all the drugs he was doing? Right? So, there's two sides to every story. You're saying, why didn't they fire the Usos? Oh, because of their family name. Well, we don't know that for sure. It's hard to cut somebody for DUIs. I'm sorry. Based on the fact that, bruh, there was tons of wrestlers doing worse shit in the damn 90s. You can get help for that. When it comes to the whole DUI shit, doing coke, you can get help for that. And actually, some people can actually sue for being fired for those things. Even in the NFL, nobody gets fired or cut for getting arrested for DUIs. They get suspended. So, like, I've never heard somebody being fired when it comes to wrestling, getting multiple DUIs or being busted for coke. They get suspended. That's in their policy. But this Mandy Rose thing is totally different. It's like, okay, if you want to get heat to Triple H, okay, so be it. Because if this was Vince McMahon, you guys would trash Vince McMahon. If you want to trash Triple H, okay, do it. At least keep that same energy. But you can't fault Triple H for this. You can't fault Shawn Michaels for this. This is all on Mandy Rose. Look, I'm sure they tried to give her a fucking choice. They tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. And here's what I mean. This is the same thing with Miss Vega. Remember when Miss Vega was crying over the fact that Vince McMahon wanted her to get rid of her OnlyFans and her Twitch page, right? Remember? She was crying, saying, "Oh, they are trying to maybe get rid of my page on Twitch." Remember? This is the same thing. They actually released her because she didn't want to drop her Twitch and her OnlyFans. This is the same thing. The same situation. The fact that Vega didn't want to drop her OnlyFans is simply because she felt like she was making more money doing that than she was wrestling. So she didn't want to give it up. So they gave her a choice. She chose OnlyFans. That's why they cut her. I feel like this is the same thing with Mandy Rose. I feel like they gave her a choice. they probably said, hey, if you keep your OnlyFans, you will be cut. So you have two choices. If you still want to work here, you have to give that up. And I'm assuming she said, you know what? I'm making more money doing this than I am wrestling. I think she chose her OnlyFans page and not professional wrestling. That's what happened. Because why would they have a zero tolerance for something like this? Obviously, they gave her a choice. She chose her fucking website over wrestling. She felt like she was making more money. And I know damn well she was making more money doing that than she was wrestling. Have you fucking seen her? But, dog, she broke the rules. Look, man, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, their hands are tied. It's like, bruh, she broke the fucking rules. She don't get a hall pass. She was making money off of a sexual content kind of a website. That's against WWF fucking policy. If Miss Vega can't do it, she can't do it. Who is she? Dog, nobody in that company has a outside website like a fucking Twitch or OnlyFans. You can't make her the fucking you can't make her the fucking exception. So they had to cut her. I'm assuming they gave her a choice. Come on, man, she's a talented girl. I'm sure they didn't want to fire her. They probably gave her a choice. Either choose your OnlyFans or keep on fucking wrestling. She chose OnlyFans, right? You see, you have to follow the fucking rules. You have to follow all the damn policies. Like, bruh, I've never heard of Vince McMahon firing somebody for multiple DUIs or they are busted for doing drugs. It's like, he either is going to suspend you or just send you to fucking rehab. Because you can actually sue for that. But when it comes to this thing, like, come on, man. She broke the damn policy. She broke the damn rules. Same thing happened to Rob Van Dam. That's why they didn't fire him for what he got busted for. Right, remember? They just suspended him. Because it's hard to fire somebody when it comes to that kind of thing. It's very, very hard to fire him. Because nobody does that in the fucking NFL. But, look, man, Rose, she broke policy. She broke company policy, man. Enough with the bullshit. They are not sexist. She broke the fucking rules. It's like, dog, they fucking told us you can't have a Twitch, you can't have an OnlyFans. Yeah, in All Elite Wrestling, yeah, she can go there and still make money off her OnlyFans and still wrestle, but you can't do it here. That's their policy. So you cannot compare her to Matt Riddle. You cannot compare her to Jey Uso or to Jimmy Uso. Like, huh? Do you remember Jake the Snake? It's like y'all act like Jimmy Uso is just as bad as fucking Jake the Snake. Y'all act like Jimmy Uso it was just as bad as Shawn Michaels was. Like, huh? Okay. Multiple DUIs, okay, whatever. That is a suspension. That's not a fireable offense. Because they don't do that in the NFL. Look it up. They don't do that. They just suspend you. Or they dock your pay. So we don't know what happened behind closed doors. We don't know if Vince McMahon docked Jimmy and Jey Uso's pay. We don't know. Right? But this is totally different. But I'm sure, man, they gave her a choice. Either pick your OnlyFans or keep wrestling. She chose OnlyFans. Why are we outraged about this? Dog, she had a great run. So why would they cut her out of nowhere? I'm sure they gave her a choice. Look, there's tons of girls who make more money doing OnlyFans than professional wrestling. She has a huge fan base filled with horny dudes. Do you think she wants to give that up? Nope. Now, let's say she was to give it up. Right? I think they will bring her back. But until she gives it up, they are going to bring her back. They will not bring her back. So this is all on Mandy Rose. If she was to give up her OnlyFans, they will bring her back. But to my knowledge, I can't see her giving that up. If she's making bank, bruh, she ain't giving that up. Huh? Hell no. So pump the brakes on trying to make it Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. Nah, bruh. She broke the fucking rules. This is on her. It's in their contracts. Literally, you can't have any outside websites. You can't have a fucking paywall website. That's what her website is. It's a fucking paywall to see sexual content. The same shit that got Vega fired. So what the fuck are we talking about? The same shit that Paige was literally crying about. Remember? Vince wanted her to shut down her Twitch. You know why? You can't have any outside websites. You can't be on any third-party websites. Same thing happened to Miss Lana. You can't have any outside third-party paywall sites. If you are in the WWF, they don't allow that. Especially if it's sexual content. Look, there's a video going around where Mandy Rose actually did a fucking live stream. She did it topless. Come on, man. What are we defending here? This chick had a live stream? Topless? Bruh, she did this to herself. It's like, wow, her ego was getting big. She thought because she felt like she was a big deal, she was some kind of draw, she felt like she can walk on water and do this shit? Of course not. Of course, eventually, her job was gonna find out she was doing this shit. Going live topless? Come on, man. So she did this to herself. Look, man, I like Miss Rose, but she did it to herself. I'm sure Shawn and H did not want to fire her, but their hands were tied. And please, enough with the whataboutisms. Do not compare her to Matt Riddle. How can you compare a dude doing drugs to a chick posting nudes? If it's in their policy that you cannot post news, sexual content, you can't be on any third-party websites, then they are following their rules. When it comes to Matt Riddle, he violated their drug policy. If their drug policy means we are going to get rid of you for the next 30 days, that's their policy. Follow the fucking policy. Listen, I would say a couple of years back, I was working at my old job, right? And I was a manager. And guess what? I got fired. Do you know why I got fired? Because I did something that was against their policy. I broke their rules. This is what I did. I committed fraud on my timesheets. I was caught setting back the clock. Meaning I was lying on my timestamps. Meaning I was lying if I came in at around 9 a.m., even though I was supposed to come at like 6 a.m. That's what I mean. I was lying on my timesheets. I was lying on my timestamps. That's against the company policy. So even though I was their best worker, dog, they gave me 6 raises in a 2-year span. That's how good I was. I was the best worker at that store, to a point where I was going to be a assistant manager the fucking next year. But they fired me because I did fraud. I committed fraud on my timestamps, on my timesheet. They have a 0 tolerance for that. So they fired me on the spot, even though they didn't want to, but their hands were tied. Some of my coworkers said, why couldn't they just suspend you? And they couldn't. It was their policy that they had to fire me. They had to terminate me, because that was against their company policy for me to do that, right? Same thing with Mandy Rose. She did something that was against company policy. You can't get mad at company policy. What they did had no emotions. This was not a business move. This was something that was against their company policy that Mandy Rose broke. So why are you feeling sorry for her? I don't. Right? She did to herself. She did this to herself. At every job, they will fire you if you do something against their rules. If it's in your contract that you can't do it, then you can't do it. It has nothing to do with being a Triple H girl, a HBK girl. Why couldn't they give her a chance? They did. She had 2 choices, man. She chose OnlyFans. Same thing with Miss Vega. Same thing with Paige. Look, it's quite obvious, man. I think Rose is making bank doing her OnlyFans. She's making bank. So I'm assuming, yeah, her ass chose that over wrestling for the WWF. So y'all gotta pump the brakes on trying to get mad at Triple H and Shawn Michaels and, oh, they do bad things over there. Like, bruh, fuck that. She did something that was against company policy, and they did the right thing. Seriously, they did the right thing. Now, Rose, look, man, she had a great run. But everything is all up to her. Once she gets rid of her OnlyFans, she will be allowed back. Look, man, I hate when people say, how come the Usos don't get fired? Oh, because of their family name. No, bro, that ain't true. See, people treat wrestling like it's a fantasy world. They don't look at it as a job, but that shit is a fucking job. They have policies just like your job, just like every other job. They have policies, they have rules you have to go by. Look, man, you can't say how come Usos don't get fired. Look, man, nobody gets fired for DUIs at your job. That's the point I'm trying to make. at Walmart, Target, McDonald's, every other job you fucking know of, nobody gets fired for getting arrested for something like that. Because that's off the clock. That has nothing to do with company policy. All they care about is you passing your drug test and you clocking into work on time. That's all they care about. Look. Most companies, they don't even know that you got arrested. They never know. That's the irony of it. Every job I know, when somebody gets a DUI, their jobs, they never know. So that's the same thing here. That's why Usos never get fired, because that's off the clock. That's on them. All they care about is you passing your drug test and you coming into work. Here's what I mean. There's some jobs that they actually give you a day off if you have a court date. Let that sink in, right? Like, I remember a couple years back, I had a court date, right? Guess what? My job gave me the day off just so I can appear for that court date. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do outside of work, your job don't give a shit. They care about company policy. Do not go against their company policy. Whatever it is you do, Mandy Rose went against company policy. Meaning, if you work at a regular job, bruh, they don't give a shit if you get arrested for something else that has nothing to do with your job. Like I said, all they care about is you passing your drug test and you come into work on time. Whatever it is you do outside of work, they don't give a shit because you are off the clock. See, that's the problem with wrestling. You dumbasses treat it like it's a fucking fantasy land or something. Not realizing it's a job, just like you have one. Right? Okay. Let's say you have a job. Okay. Whatever job is you work at right fucking now, if you got DUI, would your job know about it? How would they know about it? That's the same thing with the Usos. The only reason that we know that they got DUIs is because they are famous. Right? Look, the majority of people who get DUIs, most of them have jobs. Do their jobs know? Nope. The only reason we know that Jimmy has a DUI is because he's famous. TMZ fucking told us. Other than that, nobody would ever know. So I'm saying, because that's his personal time, that's on him. That's why he's never been fired. Because whatever he does outside of work, that's on him. That's his responsibility. His job is to clock into work. I'm sorry. Listen, most of y'all don't got jobs, bro. That's just obvious. Most of y'all don't got no fucking jobs, bro. Because at my last job, I couldn't have imagined them firing me if I got a DUI. Are you serious? Hell no. I was their best worker at that job. There's no way on God's green earth they would have fired me if I got a DUI. You know why? How would they find out? See what I'm saying? How would they find out unless I told them? They don't know what the fuck I do outside of work. Right? That's the point. They don't know if I got tickets. They don't know that. Cause it's a fucking job. How the hell are they supposed to know that I got tickets or I got DUIs? Unless I tell them how would they find out? See what I'm saying? Nobody gets fired for DUIs or getting arrested. Jobs don't give a flying fuck once you are employed by that job. All they care about is you passing your fucking drug test. That's all they care about, bro. So when it comes to Mandy Rose, look, man, this is her fault. Why the fuck was she posting sexual content knowing damn well that's against company policy? See, you can't compare this to Sable or a China or a Troy Wilson doing fucking Playboy. They got a waiver and permission from their company to do those magazines. Miss Rose did this on her own without permission. That's against company policy. This is her fault. It's her fault she got fired. But she had a choice and she chose it. She wants to keep her OnlyFans. Okay, cool. So stop doing the whataboutisms. That's toxic shit. That's a lazy fucking argument. What about Jay? What about Matt Riddle? You are comparing a guy with a coke habit to a chick going against company policy that you could get fired over? Dog, it's called a wellness policy for a reason. The wellness policy is if you go against it and you fail it, you will be suspended. That's their policy. You can't get fired for it, but we will suspend you maybe without pay, and we will send you to rehab. To me, that sounds like a good job to me. Right? That sounds like a good job. That's the fucking difference. Fuck, man, I hate whataboutisms. Look, she was posting nudes knowing damn well that's against company policy. She did this to herself. Look, let's say Mandy Rose was on the main roster. How would Triple H book her? Personally, I think Miss Rose would have gotten a strong push. So please, man, stop with this whole bullshit of, oh, she's a Shawn Michaels girl. That's why she got fired. That's bullshit, man. That's like, come on, man. Y'all gotta get a life. It's just wrestling, man. Come on, man. That makes zero sense. There's no Shawn Michaels girls. There's no H girls or guys. Come on, bruh. These guys are best friends. So I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Triple H loved Mandy Rose. So it has nothing to do with she is an HBK girl. Come on, man, that's fucking stupid. She went against company policy. That's it, I'm done.